Defend yourself against DDoS attacks by hiding your true IP address with ExpressVPN, and visit my custom link expressvpn.com/GillyMaster in the description to find out how you can get an extra 3 months free. Over the course of the past few years, we've seen many different sort of leakers claiming to know something about GTA 6, just naming miscellaneous details about the game or the map or when it's taking place. All of them usually turn out to be fake, and they're just people talking out of their ass. Well, recently there was this gigantic mega leak that came out that's like 92 pages of alleged information regarding GTA 6. And I don't normally make videos about leaks just because I immediately assume they're all fake, and it's really no different this time around. I think a majority of what we're about to talk about in this video is fake, but some of it is just really kind of out there, and others are just so randomly specific that I thought it would be very entertaining to go through some of the ones that I picked out and give my thoughts on them. I'm obviously not going to go through the entire document because that would make this like an hour-long video, and I don't want to put you guys through that kind of torture. I will have the whole thing linked in the description, however, if you do want to read it yourself, because although a lot of it sounds ridiculous, there are a few things that would actually be kind of neat to have in GTA 6. Anyways, let's just jump right into this now. And to preface some of these, there are mentions of 3 playable characters, Rose, Casey, and Ricardo. Just so you guys aren't confused when the names pop up, those are the 3 alleged main characters. So we have a list of minigames here: gambling, golf, surf, skateboard, tennis, pool, chess, basketball, bowling, strip clubs, cinemas, hot coffee minigames, and arcades. All of which I can believe except for the hot coffee minigame, because there's just no way they're going to put this in the game, especially after the controversy with it in San Andreas. They had to remove it from San Andreas to prevent the game from getting an adults only rating, and I don't see any possible way they can go back and reintroduce the controversy with GTA 6 and then have the game not get an adults only rating, especially with the current day graphics. So right away, that's a red flag. If you are seen speeding by police officers, you will receive a 1-star wanted level, and pulling over will result in a ticket. Okay, do you realize how annoying this would be? It is so easy to drive over the speed limit in GTA games. Go play GTA 5 right now and drive the same speed as the NPCs. It's actually hard to do and extremely boring at that. Imagine getting cops every time you drove near one just for driving fast. To me, that just doesn't fit in a GTA game, and that would get annoying extremely quick. The world is fully fleshed out with a far more expansive internet, a plethora of celebrities, interactive social media, Life Invader, Bleeder. Players can set up their own Bleeder accounts and interact with each other online, and Chai Spy, video sharing platform taking the world by storm, a parody of TikTok. Chai Spy sounds like the goofiest name imaginable, no offense. I get the joke that TikTok is like Chinese spyware, but usually Rockstar are a bit more creative when it comes to coming up with jokes for stuff like this. Just deleting a few letters off of Chinese spyware and then combining them to make Chai Spy sounds so off to me. Unless that's just some sort of code name for it, there's no way it would be named that in the actual game. It just sounds really stupid. Rose is known to like lettuce. Okay, cool. Like I said, some of these are just so random. Each character needs to sleep periodically. Refraining will slowly decrease health and slow regeneration, gradually blur the player's view, and occasionally cause the player to black out for a small time. Missions and gunfights do not exempt the player from needing to sleep, so it's important to stay well rested. Depending on the time of day, characters will often sleep when the player is not controlling them if they are poorly rested. If your character is stressed, they may have a hard time getting to sleep and may be unable to at all. Gunfights, with the exception of Casey, drug withdrawals, police attention, work pressure for Rose, and many other dynamic factors will affect the character's stress levels. Again, these mechanics just don't sound like they belong in a GTA game. That sounds more like it would be in the Sims video game. I don't want to have to monitor my character's energy levels or make them sleep so they don't pass out mid-gameplay. It sounds more like a chore than anything else. And stress mechanics, you're telling me we're going to have to monitor stress levels of our characters in-game, and that is going to affect them negatively if we don't? What's next? Are there going to be like therapists we can see in-game and anti-anxiety meds we can lower our stress and anxiety levels with? People have a hard enough time with stress and anxiety in real life. That's partially why people game to relieve stress. No one wants to have to then monitor that in-game too. Well, it looks like I spoke a bit too soon about that drug thing. Look at this chart of alleged drugs and their effects on the character in-game. Tobacco slightly reduces stress. Anti-anxiety, well, looks like I was right about that after all. And that one slightly reduces stress. LSD induces mild hallucinations but still allows the player to go about their business. Mushrooms induces extreme hallucinations that consume the player's entire experience. Antidepressants moderately reduces stress but slows reaction slightly and increases fatigue. Alcohol reduces stress, mobility, and vision, increases fatigue and hunger. Ketamine reduces stress, greatly reduces mobility. Painkillers reduces the effects of damage, reduced mobility, vision, accuracy, etc. BST, a GTA 5 favorite. Temporarily increases strength, increases stress, increases muscle growth in online. Crack, speeds up reactions and intensifies gameplay, slightly reduces damage taken, decreases stress and movement. Heroin, reduces stress with the ability to induce sleep even when extremely stressed. Ecstasy, brightens colors, speeds up the passing of time, decreases hunger. Weed, slows player reactions, increases hunger, greatly reduces stress but has a small chance of vastly increasing stress levels in Casey and Ricardo. And finally, cocaine and meth, speeds up movement and reactions and intensifies gameplay, but slightly reduces damage taken and slightly increases stress. Holy fucking shit. If you're sitting there with a face you'd normally make after a 3-hour rocket science course, I don't blame you. That shit sounds confusing as hell and just way too much, way too complex. Imagine having to memorize all these effects. Sounds like a nightmare. Just way too much, man. Way too much. Laszlo Jones hosts Integrity 3.0, which is an alleged radio station. And this one has to be false because Laszlo doesn't work for Rockstar anymore. He hasn't for a couple years now, I think. So unless he recorded the radio station lines before his departure, this is just entirely false. The player can apply for a credit card at a bank or online. Credit cards allow the player to make purchases if they don't have the funds available, or for whatever reason want to pay at a later date. When a character makes a purchase with credit, they have 7 days to pay it back with interest before the bank sends goons after them. If the player is killed by the bank's goons, they must repay it in full, along with their medical expenses. The player also loses anything they bought with their credit. If the player still can't afford to, they will lose whatever they purchased and have another 7 days to repay as well, before the bank sends goons right after them again. Banks offer Rose an interest rate of 5%, Casey an interest rate of 15%, and Ricardo an interest rate of 25%. Bro, imagine this being a feature in the online mode. You can go into virtual debt and have to pay it back at an exorbitant interest rate and get hunted down if you don't. Imagine buying virtual currency with real money to get out of virtual debt, only to put yourself into more real life debt. Now, it doesn't say anything about this being in the online mode, but it's just funny to think about. It's applying for a credit card in a GTA game. You know, why wouldn't I just steal whatever I'm trying to buy like a real criminal? This just sounds like more mechanics that would be in The Sims, not Grand Theft Auto. Rose can't swim, Rose gets seasick, Casey can't fly. Not really a big fan of limitations like this because at the end of the day, it's just going to want to make me not play as those characters. I much prefer the GTA 5 route where each character does have their strengths and weaknesses, but you can learn other tasks and get better at those tasks if you perform them with that character. But this is most likely fake, so yeah, still a dumb mechanic though. You can be sued and forced to pay out cash to victims of crimes of their family members. It is also possible to sue others if the police catch them. Dude, what in the world is this? It's like someone that's big into GTRP just made a wish list of what they want the GTA 6 experience to be like, because in GTRP you can have court cases and shit. I just don't see how this is any fun for gameplay. The story is very slowly paced and drawn out over roughly 80 plus hours. When the action does come, however, it's very fast paced and intense. Rockstar Games is planning 2 single-player DLCs, one where the character plays as a drug-addled Tony Prince, which occurs during the same timeline as Grand Theft Auto 4, and another where the player plays as Ramon, a Vice City Vagos gang member fresh out of a 15-year stretch trying to adjust from life as a shot caller to a new generation of gangbangers with no respect for him, which occurs slightly before the events of GTA 4. Both DLCs are about 15 to 20 hours long. Tony Prince's DLC intertwines heavily with GTA 6's main story. Ramon's DLC features Rose and her husband prominently. Both Ramon and Tony Prince will be in at least one of the GTA 6 trailers, but each will have its own trailers before release. After what happened with GTA 5 story DLC, I highly doubt Rockstar is going to focus on story DLC for their next game. Of course, I could be way off on this, but I would imagine they're going to focus much more on the online components. And I also have a hard time picturing them using Tony Prince for another DLC. Alright, now this one really cracks me up. Rose can create a Chai Spy account and Chai Spy certain aspects in her work life. She can become a Chai Spy star and earn a decent income from it. Social media is completely revamped in GTA 6. Each character has their own Bleeder and Life Invader accounts and can interact with other characters with impressive detail. Online, in-game social media are integrated with Social Club and players can post statuses, pictures, etc. and message/comment on other people's accounts. The player can manage their in-game social media accounts for their online characters via a real-life phone app. Online, the player can create a Chai Spy account and share 6-second clips from in-game. Other players can follow and view their clips similar to LFI and Bleeder, and this can also be interacted with via a real-life phone app. Online, Rockstar Games will use Chai Spy to advertise in-game products and microtransactions and pay the players GTA $1 per Chai Spy play, GTA $3 per Chai Spy like, GTA $10 per Chai Spy follow, and GTA $10 per Chai Spy share to Facebook and Twitter. Online, Rockstar Games will pick certain creators for verified LFI, Bleeder, and Chai Spy accounts, making it easier to find these creators. Verified creators' content is better promoted to other players. Online, Chai Spy ad revenue is held by iFind with a max capacity of GTA $100,000, and the player has to manually withdraw the funds. I have so many things going through my head from reading this, so I guess you could become an in-game online influencer with Chai Spy and get rewarded in-game money from actual other players interacting with your media posts. And there's going to be a real-life phone app where you can use the in-game social media to share 6-second clips of in-game clips through it. But I just have to ask this, why would you not just post it to real-life TikTok then? If you have a real-life app to monitor in-game social media, why not just become a real-life influencer and post your clips on real social media instead? It just sounds so odd to me. Online, the player's active friends are listed in their phone contacts, and phoning a friend can allow you to voice chat across lobbies. Yeah, this is kind of already a thing in current GTA Online at the moment. You can call your friends through the in-game phone and you can talk to them across lobbies. It works just fine right now. After firing, bullets gradually drop below the line of departure. So you're telling me bullet drop and bullet physics are going to be in a GTA game? I highly doubt that. I think that's a bit too much for a game like GTA. Unless it's only with sniper rifles, that I could see, but every gun, I just don't think so. Engine tuning has been completely reworked and is said to be similar to the top racing games on the market. It's no longer the case that a tuning menu features where one option is definitely better than the other. Cars can be tuned manually from various grids, sliders, and options, or more costly presets are available for players after a certain result without the knowledge of which options are preferable for that outcome. I again think this is just making things too complex. This is sounding like GTA is going to have performance customization akin to a sim racer or something like Forza with all these charts and sliders. While I think car tuning does need some improvement, I doubt it's going to be this in-depth. The airport security service doesn't mess around. Acting strangely in an airport will have you questioned. Skipping searches will have severe consequences. Attempting to steal or hijack an aircraft will have deadly consequences. You can stand in aircraft when exiting your seat rather than just jumping out immediately. You can walk around and interact with the aircraft, including drinking at bars or sneaking into a different class. Now, is this saying you can hijack a flight while midair? I don't know about that one. I know Rockstar typically finds themselves in controversies, but being able to hijack planes when you're in the passenger seat mid-flight might be a bit too much for a Grand Theft Auto game. Cutscenes aside, it is possible to complete the entire game without killing anyone as a character you're controlling. There are achievements for doing this. I instantly thought of Dark Viper AU when I read this, and it's actually one of the very few things out of the bunch that I wouldn't mind being a thing. I think it's really cool, having like a pacifist kind of trophy. You can buy used cars. What would the point of this be, seriously? A used car in real life has more miles on it, so it's likely not going to last as long, so it's cheaper. In GTA, there are no mileage lifespans for cars. You can just drive a car forever that you find, even if it's like the shittiest vehicle possible. So I don't really understand the point of a used car rather than a new one. Like, what's the difference then? Using a suppressor on some weapons will cause them to jam more often. Oh, here we go. There's a reason why weapon jamming isn't a mechanic in any shooters or any game that has any weaponry in it. It's not because games aren't trying to be realistic, it's because there is just no way to make this mechanic a thing without compromising the fun element. It would not be any fun getting into a gunfight and then having your weapon jammed so you get shot and die because of a random mechanic like gun jamming. It's not included for a reason. No one wants GTA to be that realistic. This would be horrible. Even if it was a very rare chance for it to happen, on the off chance it does, it would not be fun, and games are meant to be fun. You must choose the right body armor for the weapon/ammo you expect to come up against. Body armor has 4 types: handguns, SMGs, assault rifles/shotguns, and larger caliber. There are 3 strengths of each. Civilian, you can buy this. The weakest of all armor stops 1 to 2 rounds. Police, available to rows, stops 1 to 3 rounds. Military, only available to military and must be stolen should you wish to equip it, stops 1 to 4 rounds, including armor-piercing bullets. Handgun and SMG armor can be worn under the clothes and hidden. If you equip any other armor, it will be visible. Handgun armor will not stop assault rifles, for example, but assault rifle armor will stop handguns, and any over-the-clothes armor, assault rifle, shotgun, or large caliber will hinder movement. Casey's Desert Eagle type handgun will rip through anything lower than large caliber armor at close range. This would be yet another realistic mechanic put into a game franchise that has never really been that realistic when it comes to weapon and armor mechanics. Having armor only stop 1 or 2 bullets, which is what usually happens in real life with different ratings as to what caliber bullet they can stop. And it's actually how armor works in GTA 5 at the moment. Armor kind of sucks in GTA 5. But on top of the bullet drop, gun jamming mechanics, sleep and stress monitoring, this leak is suggesting that GTA 6 will be like the most realistic game I've ever seen. And I don't really think too many people would be fond of that. Electric cars can be recharged from the player's house. And here we go again. This is insinuating that cars will have fuel and electric cars will have to be recharged, which for the 100th time is not a fun mechanic for your standard GTA gameplay. Once again, it sounds like someone just listed aspects from their favorite RP server to be put into GTA 6. You know, just imagine being on a police pursuit or a police rampage and your car runs out of gas and then you die. Some things just aren't fun to be brought into games, and the number one priority is for a game to be fun, not to do all these chores and monitoring different stat bars and fuel levels all the time. Each character has one health bar. Temperature, stamina, damage, hunger, and stress levels each contribute toward 20% of your maximum health, so a character that's taken no damage but hasn't slept, hasn't eaten, is stressed, and is overly hot or cold will have a maximum health of 20%. Additionally, each of the aforementioned conditions will have other adverse effects on your character as mentioned in previous posts. For these reasons, it's very important to keep the character well conditioned. Note, think similarly to RDR2's cores. If each impacts the other and your overall health, a character that is well rested, not hungry, and unstressed will have a maximum health of 100%. The game prioritizes the damage stat when damage is taken, etc., but will then drain the other condition's health impact as needed. Yes, this does mean that running is hazardous to your health in GTA 6. I mean, do I really need to keep repeating myself? Just more things to monitor and take care of, more chores to do. RDR2 can get away with these mechanics because in general it is a much slower paced game, and hunting is a big mechanic in RDR2, so hunting for food and then cooking that food at camp to eat and fill your cores does make sense. And if I recall, a lot of players didn't even like having to maintain their character in that game too, having to constantly stop and clean your weapons, change clothes to fit the current weather. To me, in a game like RDR2, it does make sense though, but I don't necessarily want to see those mechanics in a more fast-paced GTA game. Online will contain a Battle Royale type adversary mode where 100 players occupy an area of the map and a deadly hurricane slowly presses into a single point. Players can find weapons in cars, buildings, etc. and fight until only one remains. Oh my gosh, this might be the wildest shit I've ever seen in this leak, man. They go from straight up realism in every single category so far to a Battle Royale with a hurricane closing in on players. That... Oh, that's funny. How can anyone take this leak seriously at this point? How about some more annoying chore mechanics that punish you for not partaking in them? Sleeping regenerates stamina. After 12 hours awake, the characters will slowly lose stamina and therefore health. Each 5% stamina loss equals 1% total health loss until they sleep again. Running as well as other activities will of course decrease stamina. Wow, so just, running around the map, you'll just naturally lose health because running decreases stamina, which therefore decreases health. You want to run around on foot and explore the map? Well, fuck you because you're getting punished for that, bitch. A boarding school, Bulworth Academy. They're fucking putting bully mechanics in here now too. Periodically, if close enough, the player can hear gunshots coming from it. News broadcasters and websites will also comment on the frequent incidents at Bulworth Academy. It's somewhat of a running joke that all the broadcasters and citizens just brush off. Nothing out of the usual here. Rose's niece attends Bulworth Academy. For this reason, the player cannot use weapons in or otherwise attack the school. As I was saying earlier, Rockstar is no stranger to controversy, but school shooting references might be a bit too far for Rockstar's sake. I also like how it specifically says the player cannot otherwise attack the school because you know damn well people are going to do some fucked up shit with that. I mean, just wait until mods come out is all I'm saying. I mean, even if this is real, like that's assuming that all this shit is real. We already know like this, there's no way in hell this is happening, man. They're not putting this shit in the game. That's why it's just so funny to laugh at. The player must manually load each bullet into an owned magazine to be able to use them. Each magazine can hold one type of ammunition. You know, at this point, they might as well just include every single annoying gameplay mechanic ever imaginable. Fuck it, put the IRS into the game and make us do our taxes once a year, and if we don't pay, they come after us, because, everyone loves taxes. Bathrooms are far more interactive than before. Unsure if the urinating minigame is still there, but baths and showers can be used to clean and relax. Hairbrushes can be used to brush hair. Oh, is that what hairbrushes are used for? I couldn't tell. Makeup can also be applied and removed, and hair products can also be used. Rose's hair naturally frizzes and splits over the course of the day and must be brushed each morning to maintain its appearance. Yeah, I don't really know why I said it like that, but that's kind of what I imagined the person writing it to be like. But man, I tell you, that's what I look for in a game, having a hair care routine, having to brush my GTA character's hair every day before going on a murdering spree. But how about that pissing minigame? I was laughing so hard the first time I read that, I could not stop laughing. I mean, really, why stop there? Can we get a shitting minigame where we have to wipe our ass with a stroke of the analog stick? Oh, this is too funny, man. These leaks are just killing me. And now for some leaks about the online mode in GTA 6. You have 4 different online characters, each with their own story and roles. One is a low-ranking member of the El Tercer Ojo from South America, one is a new DOA agent from Vice City, one is a gangbanger from Ballas or Families, and the other is a member of the Von Krostenberg family. Each character's money and assets are separated, and each character has a story mission. The currency is deflated back down to a realistic level. Things are cheaper, but money is hard to come by. Yeah, that won't last for long, at least the things are cheaper part. All online story missions can be played solo or with friends. The north and south take place in different lobbies. Trying to go from one side to another will zoom you and switch lobbies. Each session has a maximum of 100 players. Oh boy, let's hope it's not peer-to-peer. When arrested by a DOA agent, gangbangers and cartel members go to jail. Jail time is anywhere between 1 and 48 minutes. DOA agents and von Krassenberg cannot go to jail. You can fight other players in jail. Traffic laws still exist in online. DOA agents can arrest other players committing crimes to gain reputation. Killing NPCs and other players will lower your reputation as a DOA agent. And while you're playing as a DOA agent, you cannot gain a wanted level. And you have a salary that increases as you level up. To me, the multiplayer leak sounds like someone just watched the GTA RP stream and just listed gameplay elements from that into the leak. Even the jail time sounds very similar. Isn't like the maximum jail time in a lot of RP servers like 48 minutes? The only reason RP works as good as it does is because everyone uses voice chat and abides by a very specific set of rules. If you go into any GTA Online lobby and turn the voice chat on right now, it's either some high dude pretending to be a gangster while killing everyone in the lobby, someone blaring shitty music from the Connect mic, or some squeaker with his mom vacuuming in the background. Gameplay mechanics like this would just not work with the regular GTA Online community. Just far too complex of a system, which is why GTA Online is much less role dependent and much more just about buying shit, killing things, and completing missions to get money to repeat the process. Also, I'm pretty sure the original GTA Online beta was about being a cop or a robber, and they ended up scrapping that concept. Anyways, that is going to wrap up these GTA 6 leaks, if you can see my air quotes. Definitely a good time laughing at all this, which is most definitely fake. No way this is fucking real, man. It would be crazy if this is real. On the off chance it is real, it's gonna be the most realistic game I've ever played in my life, I'll tell you that. But I doubt that to be the case. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like, as well as subscribe to my channel for more GTA Online content. Once again, I'll have the link to the document where all these leaks are from in the description, so you can read it yourself and all the stuff that I didn't cover. I want to give a huge shout out to all my channel members for your support. If you'd like to become a member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching, and have a great day.